The Carver Parks, I'm going to tell you something about that incident, man. You know, that thing that happened between James and Joe Barker, when they jumped on Joe like that, that lasted a long time.
Is that the source of the conflict between the bounty hunters and the Carvers? Is when that Joe Barker went up to the park and one of them, I guess, punched on him?
The only source, no other source.
Prior to that, y'all used to go up there in a pool or something?
That's right. Prior to that, we used to have party with him. You know what I'm saying? And we had a homeboy that kept everything neutral between us. You know, his name was Calvin Rice.
And where was he from?
He was from originally Carver Parks side, but when the bounty hunters came out, he became a bounty hunter because we was all neutral. And when the neutrality stopped, he jumped on the board with us against his own original neighborhood and became our homeboy.
But initially, he was trying to be like the go-between for both sides to keep everything good because he had ties to both sides.
That's right. He had ties to both sides.
But Calvin Rice's, I guess, his influence didn't last that long.
Well, he became Ray Boyce and Terry Moses' right-hand man, and he knew he was hanging out with the kings of the neighborhood. So I guess he felt that he probably was a king too, being that he was hanging out with the kings. And I think that he also knew that can't nobody from Carver Park whoop Ray head up because he had a thing for Ray. He used to go around the neighborhood saying to everybody, yeah, y'all know Ray would tap that. Yeah. You know Ray would tear that. Yeah, you know Ray would do this and Ray would do that. I'm talking about he talked to this to original homeboys, keeping them in check about how Ray would do you if you get out of line. So, yeah, he had a lot of confidence in Ray fighting skills.
Now, do we know who the person was that decided to hit Joe Barker when he was up at Carver Park?
Well, they allegedly say that James Compton had something to do with that. You know, I seen James Compton in the year 2012. I had a Mercedes. No, he had a Mercedes, and I had a BMW, and they both were black. And when somebody introduced me to him, he looked at, you know, the same too. You know, a little short, dark-skinned guy, looked at kind of hardcore in the face. The first thing I said to him when I saw him in 2012, you knocked out my homeboy, Joe Barker. He couldn't do nothing but grin. And he's
a little guy.
Yeah,
Wait, he's a little guy with some size on him.
Hey, guess what?
Yeah.
Guess what? Hey, Mike Tyson is short too, but it's the power that you got. If you got power here in your mind, strength is in the mind, not the body.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, was this a fair fade that Joe Barker had, or did he kind of get blindsided? Did he kind of get dope fiend, or was it a fair fight?
Well, I'm going to tell you like this, man. Two mans going to Carver Park, kicking it, hanging out like everybody was doing when we walk up there 30 deep or 20 deep. You know, I think that they were taken advantage of, you know, because if it would have been 30 of us or 20 of us, I know that would not have happened because we was going up there, you know, on the regular, and they just happened to go at the wrong time.
And it was just Joe Barker and one other bounty.
Joe Barker and Pointed Bow, a.k.a. James Mile.
Is he still around?
Yes, he is.
So he knows what happened.
Yeah, he knows what happened. That's right. He's still around. And I'm going to go visit him probably, hopefully, before this year is out or maybe even next year. But I know where he lives. Silky Blood told me where he stay at, and we're going to go visit him.
Okay, so it'd be interesting to get his version of what he saw because that's the beginning of the conflict between the bounty hunters and the Carver Parks.
Let me tell you the honest to God truth. These two guys was walking by my apartment inside the Nickerson Garden. I live on 114, a block and a half from Imperial. I can see Imperial from my front porch. And these guys came up to me. I wasn't Frog at the time. I was Raiden, right? And they said, let's go to Carver Park, man. And I'm looking for the homeboys like, where are the homies at? Why are y'all talking about let's go to Carver Park and we don't have nobody but you two guys? And they said, oh, come on, man, let's go to Carver Park, man. We can go up there. We cool with the Crips. And I looked at him, I said, no, man, I'm not going up there with y'all, man. We ain't got enough homeboys. And I wasn't nothing but probably 13 or 14 at the time, and these guys was like 16, 17. I had common sense enough to know, man, that, hey, man, when you are outnumbered like that, man, the Crips don't play, man. They love that for you to be outnumbered. If you outnumbered, man, they gonna serve you, man, point blank. But if you even Steven, man, or kind of close up to there, if they got 100 and you got 75, they'll give you a little bit of respect. But if they got 100 and you got like 20, you finna get smashed, man. That's how they operate. That's how they always operated. You know, numbers are factors. Serenos are like that too. You know what I'm saying? They catch you with a small number, they gonna smash you, man. It's a good strategy, you know. It's hey, always fair in war, man. You know, it's all fair.
Yeah, I mean, this is the streets. There's no like game book. There's no rule book. Things that are supposed to be off limits sometimes ain't off limits. It's unpredictable, and you don't know what the next person is gonna do. That's just what it is.
And I agree with you 100%. It's very, very unpredictable.
They used to say women and kids was off limits, and then there's that incident with the A-Trade gangsters and the Crips.
Oh my God.
Where they go to Joker's house and they kill his mom. You know.
I know Joker personally, man, and that was a bad situation. I don't want to really get into that for the simple fact because of my respect for Joker. You know.
Well, Joker told me he was willing to do an interview over the phone.
Oh, is that right? Yeah, I know.
He's a Muslim now, and he changed his life, and he's got a whole different outlook on things. And it's my fault that I haven't done it yet because he told me this like a year ago that we could do the interview over the phone.
I was in Calipatria with him, Calipatria prison with him, and me and him, we had to sit down, talk. He's a real good, smart individual, you know.
But that incident shows us that there are no rules.
Well,
you know.
Well,
not to really get into his situation, but it's just generally speaking, there are no rules.
Well, you know, there's an old saying back in the days. They used to say, "You kill my cat, I'm gonna kill your dog." You know, and that's just how some people think. You know, but me personally, can I do harm to a person that do harm to my family? Can I go harm their family? I don't know. I can't say yes or no because it never happened. Everybody can say maybe no, maybe yes, but you don't know how you're going to deal with a situation until it happens.
I think I can say that I get mad at people for doing little stuff, but I don't really act on it. But if you do something to like my daughter, I'm 100% going to act on it. I'm 100% would act on it. Because I stopped myself from acting on unimportant things, because that's what we're supposed to do. Let me pause. Let me stop myself. That's not a big deal. I could always get a new radio. I can get a new phone. I can replace that. Let me stop myself. You know, let me pray on this. But you do something to my daughter, oh man, we going full throttle.
Well, the old saying is, my brother, blood is thicker than mud. Yeah. You know, and when it comes down to family, man, you know, hey man, hey. It all depends on who family you mess with.
It's like that movie Taken, where the dude's daughter goes traveling to Europe and she gets snatched up by some prostitute ring, and he gets on the phone and he tracks down the Albanian. He says, "Look, man, I just want my daughter back." And he's like, "Too bad." And he's like, if you don't tell me where my daughter is, I'm gonna come track you down and I'm gonna kill you. And the dude says, "Good luck." And he tracked his ass down.
Now watch this scenario. Two true scenarios. Yeah. Two scenarios. One in the Jordan Downs, one in the Nickerson Garden. Had a homeboy named Big Green Eye. He caught a murder beef on one of the little homies. And that little homie, he killed, you know what I'm saying? His baby brother was a nobody. He grew up to be a somebody. So while this guy in prison doing time, you know, which is probably about 7 years, this other guy grew up to become reputable, you know, and it took him about 15 to 20 years to catch up with Green Eye, but he did for the simple fact because it was in his heart to get him. When a person can wait that long to revenge their family member, man, you know, that's a scary situation right there, brother.
So you saying Green Eye's death had nothing to do with Death Row and Suge Knight and all that crazy stuff that was going on? That was unrelated to that?
No, it had nothing to do with that. Okay. It's because he killed one of the little homies. And that little homie, baby brother or baby cousin, grew up to be a gangster and caught up with Green Eyes.
Always knew it.
He always knew who Green Eye was. People, man, be watching and listening and looking, and man, people lie in wait, man. You know, you have to understand, man, you do something to somebody's family member and you want to come back to the neighborhood, man, you better make sure your slab is clean. You better check and see what temperature the water is. But they have some people that are so nonchalant. It's like, oh, I can do this. This buster ain't gonna do nothing. You know, it's called underestimation, man. You can't underestimate people, man. I don't underestimate nobody. You know, everybody say, well, he's a buster, he's a coward. But guess what, man? A buster can kill you just like a gangster can kill you. Yeah. That's all it takes is a pull of a trigger.
Now, wouldn't you say that sometimes karma, I think in the Bible it says you reap what you sow?
Well, I believe that. But at the same time, they got a lot of people that did a lot of dirt and nothing happened to them. And they just doing life in prison. So are you really reaping what you sow?
I think life in prison is almost as, you still have your life, but it's almost as bad as any other punishment. Well,
on the spiritual level, I have to go against that because if you're still living, you have time to repent, man. If I'm living my lifestyle, the way I'm living my lifestyle and a sinful lifestyle, and you come and kill me, you done took me in a state of probably an evil state of my life. You probably just sent me to hell. You probably did, you know? So you don't know that person that living in prison, right? Just like these guys who's getting out right today. You know what I'm saying? They survived. They have time to repent now. They have time to change their life and become producers, you know,
so what you're
society.
Saying is that karma doesn't hit everybody.
No, it don't. No, it don't. It don't hit everybody.
Yeah.
Not everybody.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? I know
but
it don't.
Sometimes we don't know if that individual who did so much dirt really asked for forgiveness and got his heart right with God. On us on the outside, we're looking at this dude as this big, tough OG killer, but we don't know what's going on inside his heart, and maybe he got forgiveness for that years ago.
Well, I asked my pastor this a month ago. I say, so you mean to tell me all the grown people that killed little kids back in slavery days, all they had to do was ask for forgiveness, Pastor, and they forgiven if they really serious about it? My pastor looked me right in my eyes and said, yes, no matter what they did, they are forgiven if they really serious about it.
If their forgiveness is sincere.
Sincere.
Because people be having fake forgiveness all the time.
God knows your heart.
Yeah.
Only God can judge you, brother.
Yeah. Like, for example, a lot of these people that were participating in the Nazi Holocaust, I mean, they killed 6 million people. And they still catching people that were a part of that. There's some old guys that are 90 years old, but they were 18 they were security guards. And these guys were saying, look, I was 18 years old. They told me I had to stand post while they was killing off people. I wasn't down with it, but that was what my job was. You know, and the Jewish Defense League, they tracking down every single person who was part of the Holocaust. So what do you say to an 18-year-old kid? His job is now a soldier in the German government, and he's being told stand guard. And where he's standing guard, they're killing off Jews. So sometimes I have mixed feelings to say, well, that 18-year-old kid is doing the job that he was told to do, and now you want to sentence him to death. You know, there's different levels of those people that were in the Holocaust. You got your 18-year-old kids, and of course you got your 40-year-old generals that was commanding everything on the ground. So it's a real complicated situation.
Well, I think it boils down to self-preservation, because if you don't follow orders, it's going to happen to you. They're going to kill you right on the spot with that German Luger. One shot, one kill. So, you know, hey, you have no choice in the matter. It's going to either be you lying there or them lying there. It's your choice.
Yeah, you have to follow orders when you're working for the government. So all the people they're catching now that from the Holocaust weren't no serious people. They were teenagers in 1944. They're like 95 years old right now. They were teenagers during World War II. So these people weren't even influential Nazis. They were just kids doing a job that they was told to do. So I don't necessarily think that they're going to go to hell. They were just kids. They didn't know what the hell was going on. But some of those people that was on Hitler's level. Now, here's the thing. Would your pastor say that Hitler can be forgiven? The dude that was running the whole show. Thanks for watching StreetTV.net. If you're not subscribed, please hit that button below and click the bell to receive alerts and notifications. Feel Feel free to comment below so you can give us your feedback, and be sure to watch the 2 related episodes to the right. If you want to support this platform or follow us on social media, visit the links in the description, and thanks for watching StreetTV.net.